Okay, here we go. 2015 FZ09 in the matte gray. Now I had this bike for about 2 weeks. Got roughly 200 miles or so on it. And this is just a mini review to help anybody out there that is looking at this bike as an option. So start off with, obviously, got to get tail tidy on there. The ugly thing just throws it all off. The exhaust. The exhaust is quiet. If you like a quiet exhaust, this is your exhaust. Sounds great, but it's just too quiet. I like people to hear me when I'm near them, and with this bike here, with this exhaust, I have to get it up to 5,000-6,000 RPMs before someone can hear me. And I've always been used to loud pipes, so I need a louder bike. So that will be coming in the future. Just to go over the suspension, obviously you've probably heard 100 comments out there talk about how bad the suspension is. Coming from the factory, the dealer, these front forks here were set to the softest they possibly could be. And when I first brought the bike home for the first 30, 60 miles, it felt okay. It felt fine. And then I noticed that it got soft real quick. I think they broke in a little bit, and that's when you could really tell. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research and did some adjusting. And right now I got about 3 lines showing, and it's about 3 clicks out from full stiff. As soon as I did that, I noticed a huge difference right off the bat. I'll probably go a little stiffer. Kind of wanted to do it at a gradual pace, just to get used to it and see how it would handle with all the crazy potholes and terrible roads we have out here. So probably go to the sport bike rider settings, specs, and that should do it. The rear I also went ahead and stiffened up. I put it on 7, and it's about half turn, 3/4 turn from full stiff, and I noticed a big difference there. Just with launching, you notice a big difference there. It just feels more stable, more confident. You need to adjust the settings, obviously, because the rear was even set really soft. So, I mean, that's just, you have to do it. Until you change the settings, you really shouldn't even think about commenting. I think a lot of people out there got on it with it, set at the softest, and just talked about how poor it was. So, the jerky throttle, not real jerky. A little bit at first, but after I got used to it, there was no jerkiness at all. In B mode, that's fantastic for running around, just commuting up and down, 7 miles away or so. Standard mode's fine too. A mode, you put it in A mode, you know you're in A mode. It's just crazy. I mean, it's like a mode for like drag racing. I don't even know how often I would use A mode. Probably just more on the highway than anything, just playing around. So, seen an FZ09 about a year ago, and in red, and I seen it, and as it drove by, I loved it, and I caught the Yamaha emblem. I was in the market for a bike. I was looking around different options, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that FZ09. Didn't even think it would be even close to my budget. Seen the MSRP, and I thought it was a misprint. I couldn't believe it. I said, you get that bike for that price? Wow, that's a lot of bike for the price. Waited a whole year and struggled because I even so close to going with the '07. The bad reviews and stuff about the '09 just had me worried, and I almost went to the '07 because of it. I think if I would have done that, I would have been disappointed and wish I would have always went with the '09. If you're like me and you're stuck between the '07 and '09, the '09 is something that you really want, go with the '09. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to look back and say, oh, I wish I would have wanted the '07 because of that throttle or because of the soft suspension. If you're a bigger guy, 210 pounds and plus, yeah, you're going to have to change some things on the suspension. You're probably going to have to change it all out and spend some money. But if you're under that, this suspension is just fine. It's fine for me for what I do. Maybe in the future I might do some, changing, but honestly, for what you get for the price, um, it's not that bad. The braking, it's awesome. The engine braking is awesome. The best braking system bike I've ever rode. Not to say that there's not better out there. I'm sure there is, but for me, the best braking I've ever used. The rear brake is even really responsive, and that's the other thing with the suspension. Use a little bit of the rear brake when you're slowing down. The suspension reacts differently than just hammering on the front brake to slow down. Just you got these big tires, this big nice thick front tire too. Yeah, the front brake's gonna slow you down and stop you, but if you use both of them, it makes a difference. Really love the bike. It's got serious amounts of torque. It just wants to lift the front end up. If you want it to lift the front end up, it will. If you really want to go and you don't want the front end lifting up, get some weight on the front there, on your knees, and it helps holds it down. It's just so much fun and to ride around, and the compliments, tons of compliments. All the guys that I know that have seen it, they love it. They're just asking 100 questions. What is it? What kind of engine is that? Everything. It's just everybody wants to know about it. It's just a great bike, and if you're looking at it as an option, I say go for it. You're not gonna go wrong. So that's just real quick. I did notice that the transmission is getting a little bit clunkier. 200 miles on it. I think we're doing an oil change here, like maybe in the next couple of days. Change the oil out, and I think I'm still gonna take it in for the 600-mile maintenance warranty, just to say that I did. But I don't know about waiting 600 miles to change the oil, especially if you're like me and you're not getting a lot of big runs in. You're getting a lot of small runs and, 9, 10 miles to work or, 9, 10 miles back. You're only getting 20 miles, not, 10-mile runs in. I am. It doesn't mean you have to. I just think you'd recommend it. The chain, I thought I was going to have to tighten it up. I haven't had to tighten it up. I just checked it again, and it's still pretty decent. I think they really over-tight those chains at the specs, so it's surprising. I thought, after 100 miles or so with riding hard that you'd want to change that up, tighten up that chain, but haven't to yet, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, and sure I'll have to tighten it up here soon. But just surprised I haven't had to yet. Gas mileage, it's not like you get off the '07 from what I read, but it still does really good with the gas. I mean, compared to a car, driving it back and forth to work, I'm saving tons of money. So I love it. I've rode it in cool weather. So the only reason I have 200 miles on it is the weather hasn't been cooperating. I've even been stuck twice out in the rain on this bike already. Performed great. Tires performed great. Couldn't be happier with the performance of it. So hopefully this helps out some people. I'll try to get some other videos up that will clear some things up. If you have any questions, just let me know. All right, YouTube. See you later.